I'm ready. Let's rock.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Ask the Trainer podcast.
Yeah.
I'm here with the one, the only, Jerome.
What's up, Ben? I'm glad to be on your podcast, man. Thank you for having me, bro.
My pleasure. Why don't you tell us how awesome you are real quick before we start? List every amazing thing that you've done in your life.
Oh, that's going to take a while. My journey of fitness or just my journey in life?
Let's keep it fitness today.
Fitness.
We'll have you back for life.
Okay, so my top 3. Number 1 has to be getting my black belt.
Yeah. Oh.
That's like boom, boom. That's top. Second one.
3rd degree, right?
3. I don't.
No joke. How many degrees are there?
Well, there's 10 in karate. In Ishinru, there's 10, and there's only really, I think there's only 3 living teachers who have the 10th.
That's pretty interesting.
Number 2 is 5 Ironmans. I don't know. 1, 2, 3. So completing the Ironman is probably like number 2.
So today we are going to tackle some great common questions that we've gotten through our little Q&A of Ask a Trainer.
Mm-hmm.
We're only going to stick to 3, keep it nice and basic and short, just so everyone knows the questions that we're going to be talking about today are: 1, what is better, cardio versus weights? Number 2, what should I do if I have this shoulder pain that clicks? I think that was the question.
And pain.
And number 3 was, can I drink beer and still be fit? So let's start it with number 1.
Okay.
Jerome, what is your answer for what is better? This is how the question was phrased. It was,
right.
What's better, cardio or weights? It was very general like that. But it's a great question, especially for if you're a beginner. It really for anybody to know that, but a huge question that beginners have.
Yeah, definitely. So for me, I guess my answer is more along the lines of what I found through the years of training is the most benefit in any kind of training style comes from conditioning. Like that's just the overall aspect of training. So conditioning for to be more functional, meaning in daily living, conditioning to challenge the heart, challenge the muscles, and really work through those phases of what it looks like for your body to change. So I guess any kind of, whether it's weights or whether it's cardio, if the conditioning itself is done in a way that the heart rate, the average heart rate that you're doing it with, weights or cardio, is in that kind of aerobic, anaerobic middle. So you're not all the way anaerobic, meaning you're not struggling so hard where you can't breathe, but you're also not taking it too easy. So it's that middle ground where there has to be a rest period, not long, but you're challenging yourself overall. But the thing about it is that knowing that fine line to be able to do that with weights, that's the key. I mean, finding, the circuit training, I think, is the best for that. So.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, that's a great answer. I agree with that answer. I think I
need your approval. So.
You do. And you know what? You got it.
Nice.
I think well, the real issue about it is that when people ask that, they mean like the treadmill or like the machines and the free weights. That's what they mean.
Mm-hmm.
They don't realize, I think anyone who asks that kind of question, that cardio is, your heart working, is that stress on the heart, and you can do that through almost anything. You know what I mean? So you can be doing cardiovascular activity through the weight training.
Hmm.
So in this example, though, let me ask you this, because knowing, kind of circling back to, if he was to ask you, what's better for me to do, the treadmill or the weights type situation, would you have told him that answer, or do you have a different answer in those regards?
Yeah, I guess I gave the answer speaking to the general population, but I guess narrowing it down, I don't remember specifically his profile, meaning like what his goals were, what his conditioning is. So I guess like those kind of questions need to be asked, right? I mean, what's your goal? What's your current conditioning? What's the purpose? Um, are you training for a wedding? Are you training for the beach? Are you training for
Yeah.
life? Are you training? What does that look like? So
Awesome. Yeah, you're right. Because that's what it always comes down to. Would you agree with that? That it pretty much always comes down to what your goal is? Like, you got to know that to answer that question? Or?
yeah, I think that's the main one. And the problem is, and I know we see it a lot, is that people come in with these short-term goals, right? They want these short-term, quick fixes for wedding, summer, whatever. But as I've gone through the years of training, it's like my goal is to impact them where they want to make a permanent change, a lifestyle change, for them not to just look at a short-term way of training.
Yeah, I
And
totally agree.
I know you agree with that one.
Yeah, lifestyle.
So
Uh,
thumbs up or thumbs down?
thumbs up.
All
Thumbs
right.
up all the way. And I'll just leave us with this too, so people understand the balance. One, kind of the unique thing that you mentioned was that you can get the best of both worlds through a hybrid, and even
Mm-hmm.
through, the weight training and circuit training, and not even weights, but just, calisthenic stuff. Obviously, we're all kind of stuck at home right now, so just that resistance training, we'll call it. And the benefits of the cardiovascular, I think people gear towards that because they feel like they're working out.
Mm-hmm.
Like their heart is going, they're sweating, they feel like they've burned calories, and they know how to do it.
Right.
Whereas if they do the weights, it's going to look like slow. It's probably not going to be as intense, so they feel like it's not as good of a workout. So I
Exactly.
think you need to learn, in order for that to be the case where weights are the go-to, you need to learn how to do that. But there's tons of benefits through that, like posture, the osteoporosis, the mobility, all that good stuff
Mm-hmm.
that comes with weights. So the answer is really a hybrid, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's really about how you do each of them.
Right. And for example, like what we're doing, right? When we're training together every once a week, we do the hybrid. I mean, it's at a high intensity, but we're moving in and out of aerobic and anaerobic constantly. You know.
Absolutely.
So
Give them an example of what we do.
okay, so Ben introduced me to the bar complex, right?
Oh yeah.
The shoulder, the 45-pound Olympic bar, which is I think it's 10 reps of um what do we start out with? 10 reps of
Well, you can really do anything, but we did squats,
squats, that's it.
cleans, rows, and overhead press.
Overhead press. So 10 reps each of that. And then you alternate. We do 3 rounds and you alternate. So I sit while he goes and vice versa. And we also added in the stair climber while the other person's doing the bar complex, which is a whole nother element to the kind of anaerobic push. That's just one set.
Yeah,
So,
that's just one set of.
yeah.
So yeah, that cross training is extremely effective.
Yeah.
And then
Definitely.
we do some things that are more straight cardio mixed with the weights, but
Yeah,
not
we did
that
the
long.
running. Yeah.
I'm ready. Yes, wonderful. Round two. So we're just going to talk about pain real
What
quick.
do you want to start with talking about, as a trainer, when someone comes to you with pain and how we have to assess that? Or do
Sure.
you want to just go right into that?
No, I think that's good because it gives us an example of what we do. And then people also who don't have access to that can start to use that kind of evaluation on themselves
Hmm.
as well.
Yep.
So, yeah, I'll let you take that away. We'll just kind of say what you do when someone comes to you with pain and then go through an example of kind of how you assess that and where to take it from there.
Yeah. So I love this. I love the question because it really defines kind of some of the things that, as a trainer, certified trainer, we can and can't do. So we can't diagnose, right? Like, that's just, we can't. We're not trained to do that. So we have to do an assessment. Um, and if someone comes with pain, I usually evaluate that pain like on a scale, right? From 1 to 10, is it at night? Is it, if it's a knee pain, or when you walk, when you're upstairs, downstairs, shoulder pain, can you reach behind? Is it, and one of the key questions is it a sharp pain? Is it a stinging pain? Is it preventing you from working out or doing an activity? So if that person hints to a yes on those things, I'll immediately refer them to a professional. I just reiterate all the time the importance of, if that injury goes away, it will come back again if you don't take care of it.
Step one is the assessment. See how
Yeah.
bad the pain is, because there are things that are just out of the scope of a trainer,
Right.
um, in terms of diagnosing and healing. And it's funny because over the years, the more experience you have with people who have um, certain pains, like knee pain or shoulder pain, you can kind of learn through them and yourself, like, oh, this hurts in my knee. Well, the assessment kind of shows, are your quads are really tight and that's pulling on your knee, or you're not having the pressure, you're not pushing through the right part of your foot, or this, your wrist is out of line, it's putting pressure on your elbow, and like that's what's causing the pain. You have to be honest with the degree of your pain and assess it and see what it hurts to do.
And if I have any question about the honesty in what they're telling me, I will not, I'll have them, I won't address it.
Yeah. Some of the common middle of the road things, I kind of just gave one example, but if someone out there is listening to this and you have a shoulder pain, knee pain, back pain, this is not a diagnosis, like we just said, but the common things that you may not know as a general population is a lot of that starts with an imbalance coming from somewhere or a tightness coming from somewhere. If your calf muscle is tight and your ankle can't bend all the way, then you're going to start to turn your knee out, start to turn your foot out, start to turn your foot out, your knee goes out, then your hip turns out, and now your glute is tight and your hip flexor is tight, and now you have low back pain. Oops, sorry about that. So now your low back pain came from your calves being tight.
Mm.
So you have to address your body as a whole and take things from there. Stretch the muscles that are connecting to the joints that hurt would be my recommendation. If you're by yourself, if you don't have the opportunity to be assessed by someone, I'm not saying you should push through the pain,
Mm.
but I would recommend working on the muscles around the joints that hurt to stretch them and strengthen them. Anything
Yeah,
else you want to say on the pain?
I agree. That's perfect.
Cool.
No, good stuff. Ready for the bell?
Ready for the bell, because this is a big one coming up.
This is a new bell. Ready?
New bell. That was a new bell?
Yeah, so this is a louder one. Ready? Hold on.
Ooh.
And then I have a nice, like, quiet one. I'll hit it with a different, wait.
Ah. Why do you have multiple bells going on there?
Because when I do my
Good
meetings,
service over there? Honey, did you ring the bell?
dinner's ready.
Okay, so last one. Can you drink beer and be fit?
Oh,
What a question.
that's like
Now,
that's like
originally,
if I had the emoji. Oh,
originally, me and you went good cop, bad cop on this one, and
we did.
and my answer was I don't want to say we argued because we didn't argue, and we
No,
came to the same conclusion for sure. There's two types of answers that you can give for this one. I'm going to go ahead and say we're both on board with the answer is yes.
right.
So you can. So cheers to all you out there drinking beers and trying
Very
it.
good.
I'm going to let you start with your answer. Can you drink beer and be fit? And what's your explanation of that?
Yes, you can, because it is a carb, right? Isn't it?
Yeah, carve up.
So, but you can stay fit eating carbs, correct?
You're stretching this one now.
No, because I'm trying to. I think the thing about it is this. It's the quantity, right? It's the quantity and the percentage of what you're drinking. So, obviously, a 10% of alcohol beer versus a 5%, that 10% is a lot more calories in that. So I would say kind of breaking that habit of the higher percentage, maybe going midway or lower and not as many.
Mhm. Sorry for that.
What are you doing over there?
I don't know.
I
My computer connects
I mean,
to the phone, so it rings. I ignored it.
did you
Well,
have him ring just purposely on my share over here? What the heck? I know how you operate. No,
okay, so
but
continue now. So you're
no,
talking,
I just think
yeah,
no, good. What were you gonna say?
you're saying from a caloric standpoint, you can
Yes.
be, or like, yeah, of what beer is. Like, it's still a beer. It says whatever, 120 calories. I don't know how many calories are in a beer actually.
It depends on the percentage.
Yeah.
That's the key factor, you know.
So depending on what it is. Tell me exactly what you would tell someone who's like, "Can I drink beer and be fit?" And they say, and you say yes, but they're not fit yet. So they're trying to be fit.
Yeah. So first I'd have to find out truthfully how many and how often. And once I find that out, and then I'd have to go into some their overall diet, right? Like that would be a factor as well. But if I'm just looking at that part and they say to me, okay, Jerome, I don't want to cut that out because I'm not going to say to them, you have to, because that wouldn't be good for me.
Yeah.
Because how is it going to be motivated? So I would try to find out the quantity and then try to cut that down to start, just to start. And then maybe eventually, if it's cut down, then I can get them towards, that lower percentage or other avenues that they can go down.
Basically, you're saying that beer or drinking is a part of your lifestyle that you want to keep, but you also have this alternative goal of being a fit. We're gonna call fit like not having a belly, being able to go up and down the stairs without running out of breath, like basic things like that, being able to lift things and not
Yep.
be like, oh my God, I'm so weak or in pain. So that's our general, very vague definition of fit. And
Mhm.
when you look at it like that, we're saying it's just like any other food. And we're just going to work it in with calories,
Exactly.
things like that. To this, I remember this question, and I, I know I said like no, because I believe that he kind of asked it like, can I be like as fit as you guys? Or can I be like you and drink beer? And the
Right.
answer was just like, in your situation, like no. Like that's kind of how I ended up saying
Right.
it. I didn't really mean it like that. I just meant from like an elite, because along with the beer, like it's alcohol content, right? And it's just, if we're being honest, it's not ideal for a performance, like a high performance lifestyle.
Exactly.
It's
Yep.
just not.
I
Every
agree.
once in a while, sure, but if you're talking about like having a beer after work every day or binge drinking on the weekends, like it's not the best thing. But the real answer is you can be fit doing that. And
Yeah.
what you have to do is just watch what it is and treat it like it's a food.
Hmm.
See where like the calories fall and all that good stuff.
Yep.
Well, so there's our three answers. In short, the cardio versus weights. The answer is really you want to try to do both, right? Because the cardio is more for heart health and puts you in a different state of energy, whereas the resistance training with the weights works on the muscular side of things and the posture, which are both together going to give you the total wellness. The pain, what's your takeaway on the pain for that answer?
Working the muscles around that area, stretching often, like good, solid, legit stretching,
Yeah,
and then keeping that part of the body warm, like constantly warm, so there's no tightness that continues to develop. So
cool. And then the drink beer question, of course, that we just finished off on is yes, you're just going to need to balance it out with the rest of the food that you eat throughout the week as if it was like that and not abuse it. I think that's what it kind of comes down to too.
right.
If you want it in your lifestyle and you also want to live a fit lifestyle, then you're going to have to find a way to make that a hybrid. And it's like you
Mhm.
said, you got to kind of cut down slowly, find out where your happy place is, and then be smart about it. Make sure you're drinking the enough water the next day. It's not like drink a beer pre-workout type situation because there's just because there's like carbs or whatever. Um, and enjoy yourself
Yep.
because if you don't fit it into the lifestyle, then you're not going to continue to do it,
I
and that's
agree.
the problem. So let's wrap up here with, of course, our current situation while we're both at home here and the challenges of what we're facing right now. What is your advice for everybody at home right now in terms of overall wellness and fitness with the things that we're going through and how we can maintain and be our best selves with this lifestyle adjustment?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's first, like, for me, it's just been addressing the reality of what we're experiencing. Um, Getting over that hump then allows like perspective, and that took you know some time for me. The shock of the whole thing, and then I guess I've come up with a structure, daily structure and daily routine that have a lot of different things in it to distract my mind. So I'm only watching news for a certain period of time, right?
Hmm.
Then I'm devoting myself to like self-care, which is like, working out, meditation, reading, um, and then getting outside on some level, at least every other day, whether it's a walk or running or even going to the supermarket. Um, so then there comes, for me, it came more of like, all right, there's a purpose to this. Like there is a true purpose, even though the experiencing and seeing all the deaths is completely horrible, and every day they rise. But there is a purpose. There's something to it. There's something more, in my view, higher than me or higher than us, um, operating. And if I can view it that way, it's easier for me to settle in to this new way of being, and then self-reflection, right? Like, start thinking like, what's going on in my life? What can I change? Who can I found myself talking to people I haven't talked to in a while, or even doing this.
Yeah.
um, because you have, in my opinion, you have two ways of looking at it, right? I can either sit in it and really allow myself to get depressed and anxious and worry and fear, or I can still experience all those things, but try to redirect it in a different way so that my outlook can change, right? I'm not waking up every day going, yeah, hurrah. I'm waking up some days not the best. And I've built the structure which helps. The structure of those things really help a lot. And talking and reaching out to others. So
Wow. Yeah, that's a great answer. I don't think I could
thanks.
phrase it any
I
better.
got I got all thumbs up from you.
All thumbs up. All thumbs up today. I'm watching you though. I'm ready to pounce
Yeah,
on you.
but
Yeah.
you got so much that I'm sure you're doing, or you got your things,
Yeah. You know, it's tough. It's just hard because it's one, you say these things and then you actually have to, just like anything, you actually have to do it.
Right.
You actually have to execute on it. So I felt not, I don't know how to put it other than like, because it's not a peace of mind, but it's more of a general understanding that this is the circumstance, you know,
Mhm.
and it's not a good circumstance, but you can't let it consume you, because you need to hold on to who you are. You know what I mean? It's not, it shouldn't change you. It's just where we are at right now. And it's hard to focus on good things sometimes when something so bad is happening like this. But it's kind of the step back, and it's weird to say, but it's like you're not in control of that, and you're never gonna be in control of that. You never were in control of some things, you know what I mean? So you do what you can. I don't mean that like you can't control your life in terms of the decisions you make and your attitude and stuff like that, but there are some things that are not in your control.
Mhm.
But what is in your control is how you respond and decide to act through there. So once I wrap my head around that, I was able to do kind of what you do. Though all those strategies help a lot. Having routines, getting outside when you can, if you're of course allowed to be, and finding hobbies, self-reflecting, reaching out to people. There's been a lot of cool, positive things to see that people have been doing. So I would just encourage everyone to keep that up, not ignore the problem, of course, and very grateful for everybody who's on the front lines of it. But at the same time, we can't let it consume us, and that's like everything that we are. We still got to hold on to who we are, and do our thing at the same time.
Mhm.
So that's kind of my takeaway on it. But I'm
Yeah.
glad, I, you're healthy. I'm healthy so far.
Yeah, we both are. That's
Knock
good.
on wood, and hopefully it stays that way. And
Yeah.
whatever, we just do what we can. So
Yeah, and one more thing I just want to say about it real quick is that these are the moments where you got to go through. Everyone has to go through their own process of how they deal with it, right? And then this next stage is actually learning. Like we talk about fitness, we talk about the things that we do. What have you done before that you do daily that that helps you and works on you? And I think finding that is important. And if you've not had something like that, then maybe this is an opportunity for you to find that again. Find what that looks like. What does self-care look like? Many people I'm sure have not even sat down and thought about that. So
yeah,
it's that time.
just kind of taking it as a new perspective.
Yep.
Yeah, it just sucks that it has to be such an extreme and that others have
Yeah.
to suffer through it. But what do
Yep.
you, like I said, that's out of our control. So
Right.
we just have to do what we can, and keep all them in our thoughts, and that's it.
You bet. 100%.
All right. Anything else you want to say to close out the podcast? I think we
I think
covered.
that's it, Ben. I'm excited I finally got on. Thanks for having me. You rocked it out as
Oh,
usual.
my pleasure.
Just wipe the oil off your forehead, would you?
It's just the light, man.
The olive oil.
I'm Italian, so I think I just sweat olive oil.
Sweat and olive oil and garlic.
That's what happens. I'm gonna have to figure out the situation. it's better than you
I
in the
know.
dark. I don't wear a hat with my beard on. Like, oh, who is that? Oh, it's Jerome.
Yeah, why don't you do something in the background? It's like it's like, what is that?
It's a wall. What do you mean? What is
I
that?
mean,
What is your background?
I got a
What are you
treadmill,
kind of? Oh,
fans. I got my bow staff. Look at that.
okay. So
Medals, medals.
bow staff.
Look at that. You know what that says?
Man.
It says Iron Man, baby.
Whoa! I thought that was just an air vent for me. You can barely see it. It just looks like a little square. All right. I'm working on my decorations in the
Yeah,
back
come on.
for you. Jeez, tough crowd here. Next episode of the podcast, we got two coming up.
Oh
We got
yeah.
more Ask the Trainer. So we'll address the next batch of 3 questions,
Yep.
and then of course a long overdue podcast about yourself and all the like great accomplishments that you've had and your kind of view on fitness and life in general, because that's a wealth of knowledge I think a lot of people can learn from. So I'm really looking forward to that one as well.
Thanks, man.
So
Look forward to it.
until next time,